Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching my free training on how to take better photos. You want to take better photos, you have kids, so let's learn today how to take better photos. And I want to reiterate throughout this training that you don't need a fancy camera. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's get started. Welcome, I'm Julie. I'm the girl behind the camera. I started my career in visual storytelling in television production. I studied broadcasting in college, and I went to work for one of the biggest NBC affiliates in the country. I was their studio manager. So visual storytelling came naturally to me. But when I had my daughter in 2012, I started taking pictures and doing photography. And now I love taking pictures of families, weddings, events, children, babies, and I even opened a studio here in Springfield, Missouri. So let's talk about what you need to get started. There's really not a whole lot, and it doesn't cost a whole lot either. First of all, you need a cute subject. If you're a mama, you've got that covered. You also need a camera. And I want to emphasize here that any camera will do, even your cell phone camera. And the last thing that you need is light. Without light, we don't have an image. So let's talk about the first thing that you need, a cute subject. Here's mine. This is Addison. So props are encouraged. I always give them something to do. Make it fun. And here's a pro tip. Instead of saying cheese, you know how you always say cheese, and everybody has that really fakey smile? Say ice cream, because you get a more natural smile. And let's face it, who doesn't like ice cream? So let's talk cameras. I referred to this a little bit in the beginning, that you don't need a fancy camera. So start small. Even a cell phone camera will do. Upgrade your camera when you have a need to. And here's my myth buster. Having a better camera doesn't necessarily make a better photo. Now, it is true that with bigger cameras, you can do a whole lot more, and they have a whole lot more options. But really, it's just a tool. It's the photographer behind the camera that actually creates the beautiful image. So let's talk about the third thing that you need, which is light. I want you to find the light, because that is the key to a better photo. There are two different kinds of light. There's natural light, which is created by the sun, and then there's artificial light, which is a lamp, a ring light, a flash, anything that creates light indoors. So you want to look for the light and how it is hitting your subject. Notice the little boy on the left. This was taken outside. Now, this was taken on a cloudy day, so the sun was filtered through the clouds, making a beautiful, soft light on his face. But the sun is coming down. That's how we naturally see people, is the light is coming from above, shooting down. So you want to look for the light and how it's hitting your subject. Now, this little girl in front of the balloons, she is in my studio, and I'm using artificial light to light her. I have it just off to the side, just on the right side of my camera, facing her. And it's creating a beautiful, soft light on her face. So you want to look for the light. If your subject's face isn't lit well, you want to move your subject into better light. Some people want to take pictures in front of a big window, but you can't really see the person's face. So you want to turn their face towards the light. You might have to change the angle of where you're shooting in order to get better light. And here's a pro tip for you. Look for catch lights. Catch lights are the reflection of your light source in your subject's eyes. Notice in the close-up of this little girl, you can see the little lights in her eyes. That is just a reflection of where the light is coming from, which is above. That was the sun. It's reflecting in her eyes. So look for catch lights in your subject's eyes, and that will tell you for sure that you're getting good light. Another thing you can do to take better photos is to change your perspective. Like the little boy on the bottom left. I was above him, and the little girl in between, I was shooting up as her mama lifted her up in the air. And the little baby, I got down on this baby's level. So sometimes you have to change the perspective of your camera to get better photos. Also, something else that I do a lot is I will use items in the foreground to create interest. Now notice with this little girl on the right, I told her to look at the flowers, but I'm using the flowers in the foreground to create interest. But she is in focus. But the image is interesting because you can see what she's looking at, but your eye is drawn to her because she's the one in focus. I do this a lot in pictures. And then another thing that you want to do is pull your subject away from the background. You don't want your subject crammed up against all the flowers. The subject needs to be in focus, and the subject is the little one you're taking pictures of. So you want to pull your little one away from the background to create more interest in your photos. This is my favorite part of photography. Capture the details and connection. I love it when we get snuggles and little toes and little fingers and little noses. This is my favorite part of photography, capturing all the little details because they change so much so fast. And here's a bonus pro tip. Mamas, get in the shot. I know that we are always the ones who are taking the picture, but it's really important for you to be in the picture too, so that your little ones have pictures of you as they're growing up and they can have those memories for a lifetime. I would love to take your questions. I know you have many. Photography is so big and there is so much information. And I want to know, what specifically are you struggling with? What do you want to know? Is it a technical question? Or is it more a question about style or editing? Or what do you even do with the photos when you're done? So I would love to take your questions. If you want to shoot me an email, there'll be a button on this page, or you can comment in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. And I would love to answer those questions for you and help you take better photos. I would love for you to contact me. Here's my information. I am on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow me there. You can also visit my website at stokermedia.com. If you're looking for a photographer, of course I would love to be your family photographer, but also you can contact me if you just have any questions. I'm happy to help. And here's a bonus for you for watching this training. I want to offer you 20% off of a fall family mini session. Now this expires on October 15th, so you want to go ahead and get your spot. But use code FALL20 when you check out, and I'll post a link to the fall minis down below. Thank you again so much for watching this training. And again, if you have any questions, just comment below or send me an email. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about photography or taking better photos.